How's the acronym spelled? Is it KIDBZ?
Yeah, KIDZ.
I knew it was KIDZ. I didn't remember if there was a second Z in there for extra, teenage child oomph.
Hi, everyone. This is Tabletop. We're welcoming everyone back for another episode of Mutants and Masterminds. Take it away, Tanari.
Oh, God. Okay, so we have You have decided you're going to England, last I checked, to look into the orphanage that we're going to call her Kayla, because yes, I have forgotten the child's name. The 3-year-old that disappeared under the dessert table had gone. You've been moving in the aircraft over toward England. It's going to take, overnight. When you wake up in the morning, you will find on the computer console 2 messages. I'm sorry, 3 messages. 3 messages. One is from Astral Shadow, and it says, "Team, we are a team, right? I've been reassigned, but not, kinda. My new directions are to change the Munchkin and handle her and her safety. Y'all focus on what's going on, figuring that shit out." Signed, Astral Shadow. She's chasing after the kid in the background, so there will be further updates from her. But basically, we've kind of lost Nerdy due to real life over the next few sessions. Another message is going to be the contents of that hard drive. What you're going to find is schematics for 3 different hacked together kind of robot things. You saw the toy one last week. 3 that look similar. Like they're clearly put together to appeal to a child's creativity. And the last message is from... Wow, I have forgotten everybody's flipping name.
Government guy?
Government guy, let's go with that.
Edward.
Government guy. Edward, there we go. Edward. Saying, "We've had to deal with some reassignments. You will find when you land in England, we have sent someone by the name of Carlos Vladiskov. You'll meet him when you land." What are we doing this morning? You are currently in the aircraft, getting ready to land.
I will place my seat tray in the full locked and upright position and fasten my seatbelt.
We'll find Gary, having extinguished the fire and, dealt with the smoke in some manner from last week's issue, is playing a game of circle ball with several dummies, leaving them very indented in the ground.
Wraith
has her noise canceling headphones on, ignoring that son of a bitch in the workout room.
By the time you have docked in the aircraft carrier, it is literally just an airplane hangar they have parked on. The smoke from the couch will have dissipated, though there's going to be a faint scent of burnt upholstery for the foreseeable future in that room. Carlos, you have been briefed on the fact that there's a group of people that are in the aircraft carrier trying to investigate what's going on. So far, they have found a variety of grocery lists. That's basically what it looks like, grocery lists of things that have been stolen. They have been handed files on various... What was it? It was warehouses and machinery shops that had been broken into.
And bakeries.
Yeah, bakeries, that's right. The first one was a bakery where you found that flipping chicken.
We're heading to Tesco.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
They went to China, I believe, to check on the bakery robbery there, and then moved from there. They found in a warehouse, they found a child. And The people who have updated you don't know where the child went, but they know it was Kayla with a last name that I can't remember, and that they are currently headed to an orphanage to look into her background.
Smith.
And when Smith, that's right. There we are, Kayla Smith. There we go. And when you three disembark, you will find waiting for you inside of the hangar Carlos. What do they see, Digi?
A 2-meter tall robot that looks like one of Tony Stark's Legionnaire droids, holding a brain in a jar. The jar is completely, the entire base of the jar is wired with all kinds of mechanical shit going into the brain, and the transparent bell jar showcasing the brain itself that contains its life support unit. And little LED lights on the brain, on the life support unit, and a little round speaker.
Great. Now we have Bender and Fry.
Hello.
Good morning. I understand that you are the heroes incapable of tracking a child.
Seems so.
I am Carlos Vladiscov.
Nice to meet you, Carlos. You can call me Shuffle.
Very well, Shuffle. The unit holding me is my assistant, Kid Ultron. Kid Ultron doesn't say shit.
Nice to meet you.
That's it. He doesn't do anything. He's pretty much just there to assist Carlos.
Arthurian. I don't know how much Carlos can perceive outside of that, but that's a full-ass knight in new shining armor.
I am fully aware of all minds within range of perception. If it has a mind, I am aware of it, and more than likely can control it.
She's right next to Arthurian. She pats his shoulder and goes, "Don't worry, you're safe."
Ouch.
Just turns his head. You know, you don't have to be a dick, right?
You don't have to do a lot
I
of
don't have
things.
flows
to
with
super
get
her.
around.
intellect doesn't mean I don't have a brain.
Hey, young squirrel is going to come running up with a tutu on and starts tugging on Shuffle's pant leg to get his attention.
Looks at the squirrel, looks back at Vladiskov and go, "Your work?"
Negative.
Does it have a mind?
It's not mine. It does have a mind, yes.
Looking at our knight in shining, whatever. All right, Boy Scout. Can you talk to animals too?
I mean, you'll see he'll just pop a squat, smile. You need something?
Squeaker, McSqueaker, squeaking.
No, it's used in sign language.
I don't know sign language. Gary does, because he often works at homeless shelters and shit where there are deaf people who have to use sign language to communicate.
Or other places that, he can't tell us about without possibly compromising his secret identity.
Mhm.
Or
I'll speak to him using telepathy.
The squirrel is going to sign to Gary. The car's that way.
Okay. Thank you, buddy. I assume you're with neither here nor there. All right. And you'll
She's
offer
gonna,
him like an arm up.
yeah,
Okay.
up on the arm and just point toward the vehicle.
Okay, Carlos just kind of floats out of Kid Ultron's arms and just goes towards the car. Kid Ultron will follow us in the air.
go get in the car.
Yeah.
You're going to find a cargo van because they couldn't figure out how else to transport the brain in short term without sticking him in a trunk.
Mhm.
Good.
And the squirrel's going to hop off, skitter across the roof to the windshield, and you will see inside there is a young man in a hoodie and a pair of jeans just waiting there, twiddling on his phone till the squirrel thwacks the windshield and points back towards you. And he's going to push a button and the door will pop open.
I
He's
didn't
going-
know that they were prescribing squirrels for ADHD.
Squirrels
nice.
are ADHD.
They're part of here, or neither here nor there.
Exactly. That's where the squirrel came from. She's on assignment and apparently visiting her mother.
Speaking,
I tell her I hope her mother's doing well.
you see Gary like gently tugs at the sword, looks at, am I the king?
The kid in the van's just gonna go, you getting in? I think we're supposed to go to an orphanage last I checked without the squirrel.
I'll float right in next to the kid.
Shuffle, get in.
If I wanted
Why
to
are you
pick up the
asking
van
if
and
you're
crush
the
it like a
king?
beer can.
You know, he who can produce the sword from the stone.
I thought that was a scabbard. Is it made of stone?
No, this is, you see, it's the real deal Excalibur.
Well, maybe we can swing by Buckingham Palace and you can let the king know that you're in his seat.
You mean he's in my seat?
I don't know.
I gotta quit forgetting. I gotta
Something,
quit
something,
nodding.
watery tart, something, something. She gets into the van because this is completely inconspicuous whatsoever.
Arthurian will just take off the ground and follow the van from the sky.
Well, if we're showing off, is the orphanage within 4 miles?
I'm gonna say no. Is the
Okay.
robot getting in?
Yeah, the robot got in. Oh no, the robot didn't. The brain got
No,
in.
the robot was following from the air. He wasn't sure that a vehicle would hold his weight.
Okay. They'll push a button and close the door and drive. When you get there, you're going to see tall building, about 3 floors. On the front, it's going to say, yes.
Gary would actually like to do some reconnaissance from the sky, considering he has a new favorite terrain, which is the air.
Okay.
He's just looking for weird shit in the city, seeing if like anything's popping up along the way that might be related to the
There's
event.
a robot flying next to you. Does that count?
Let me go check.
Well-
my stats here.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's a 14.
14. Well, you do see London
Mhm.
in all of its busy standard. You can track the squirrel, hopping trees on her way past. You see a variety of children. One catches your eye. He's wearing a towel as a cape and a mask. But that could just be your random child play acting.
Mhm.
Several stop to point at you. Obviously.
Mhm.
Nothing else really pops up. Unless as you
think-
get closer to the orphanage, you're going to see the construction going on one of the warehouses nearby.
I think Gary is gonna go, considering who we saw before as a member of kids. I think he is going to go down and talk to that child.
Okay. You are looking at a 10-year-old. Black hair, green eyes, towels blue, wearing a pair of Pokemon pajamas.
Mm-hmm. Hey, bud. It's nice to meet you. I'm Arthurian.
He'll grab a finger and shake. You're cool. You can actually fly?
Mm-hmm. Thanks to this cool sword right here. And he'll
Oh.
show it in like a safe manner to demonstrate a blade to a child.
I don't know anybody that can actually fly. That's cool.
It happens when you're a superhero.
Ah. What are you here for?
We're looking into some of the weird stuff going on around the world.
Hold on, my brain has to be 10-year-old. Oh, please.
How about 10-year-old's mom? Stranger danger, anyone?
My 10-year-old's autistic and doesn't know the meaning of the word danger. Is that your robot?
Oh no, that one's not mine. He'll point to the thing still flying in the sky. It's a friend of mine's. He's really cool.
Okay, cool. What weird stuff?
Lots of stuff going missing around the world, machine parts, entire bakeries.
Oh.
Have you heard anything about that? I'll roll a persuasion check if you'd like.
I mean, mom's looking for chocolate chips.
Probably because of the people who did the big robbery, right?
Probably.
Can I talk to your mom?
She's at work.
Okay. Do you want to fly around a little bit?
No, I should go back inside.
Okay. If you're
Nana's
sure.
waiting.
Tell your Nana I said hi.
Okay. Do roll a perception as the kid walks in the house.
Okay. That's a 14 again.
You notice as he goes in and closes the doorknob is a little disfigured.
Oh, he doesn't trust that. He does want to get the guy or the kid's name before he leaves.
Oh, his name is Bobby.
Bobby. Okay.
And I'm going to find a pencil and write that down on the sticky note.
Yeah, he'll text Wraith and say, "Hey, while I was flying, I noticed a kid similar to Kayla. He just walked into a pretty weird house. I'm gonna keep an eye on
Last name?
it." Didn't get one. Just got the name Bobby.
Address of said house?
He'll give her the address.
And she'll do what she does with the very rudimentary. Where the hell? Oh, I moved all my pens. Rudimentary background check on the property and stuff. Who's living there, etc., etc., etc. I assume I have to roll for that.
I'll have Kiddo try and check the lease/rental records and who owns the property as well.
Let me roll.
Has
dice,
this
'cause-
information been relayed to everyone else, or did it just go to Wraith?
It can go into a
Wraith hasn't said anything to anybody. You
Right.
guys are hearing her side of the no, actually she was texting, sorry, because he texted her. So yeah, she's just doing her own thing. She's not sharing. But he does read minds.
Yeah, Carlos probably
Well,
knows anyway.
We'll just say he shares it with everyone because Gary's not exactly a dishonest person.
High or low?
I'm still mathing my roll.
Let's
Oh,
call
that's
it
No.
high.
This is for my roll. You
Hi.
went high. Okay.
Hi, and
Yep.
mathing is hard. I believe this.
You're going to find that the lease is to one. Hold on. I'm on the wrong page.
I rolled a 35.
I rolled a 25.
On
Good job.
what? Information gathering?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay,
technology.
that's better.
for hacking.
Gather info. Perception plus gather.
It is not leased. It is owned by a woman named Dorothy. Hold on.
Oh boy, into the wonderful world of Oz we go.
Vanes. We're gonna say Dorothy Vanes. It's been in the family, or she's the current owner. You notice that the last 3-4 title transfers were just title transfers. They were not house sales. They all usually
All within
have
the
the same
family.
name. Yeah,
Okay.
it's an old family home.
Okay. Then when she realizes that, she's gonna look on to Bobby. If you want me to do another roll, I will.
No.
School reports, that kind of thing, to see if the kid, I mean 10, he's gonna start showing signs of, if he's got puberty induced super weirdness. This is about the time where the weird shit's gonna start happening.
Plus, he should be in
He's-
school. I mean, he's out playing. He should be in school. That's weird.
It's Saturday.
It's Saturday.
Oh, it's Saturday. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
when you
his
can't
school-
actually see anything, it's kind of hard.
Average school grades, average in most regards. He's a little big for his age, tends to not know his own strength. You do see every once in a while a teacher notes he's a little stronger than he maybe should be, but he's big for his age, so they just kind of write that off. He lives at home with his parents, grandmother, aunt, uncle, and a couple of cousins. There's about 4-5 kids in this house total.
Not unusual for a family home.
I would like to use. Are we within 4 miles of this house?
Yeah, you just drove past it.
I would like to use my portavision to look around inside.
What page is that on?
It's on my character sheet. It's remote sensing sight, subtle, simultaneous, extended range.
You're X-ray
So-
visioning the house.
Yeah, I can move my vision around in the world, basically anywhere in range of where I can make a portal,
So, clairvoyance.
effectively.
Kid's
Nice.
walking in the house. He walks inside. He's headed for the kitchen. Nana is asleep in a rocking chair. There aren't other kids at home right now. Seems like he's home with grandma and everyone else is out somewhere. He goes to the kitchen, opens the fridge, finds some yogurt.
Okay,
Is there-
now he's a villain. What 10-year-old eats yogurt? He's evil.
God, that explains my kids.
It doesn't bode well for my future, that's for damn sure.
So I rolled a 18 to my perception, and I would like to check the house for anything that seems out of place or seems like it might be connected to what's been going on.
Out of place, or seems like it might. I mean,
Anything else like the doorknob?
No, that loose hinges, couple of dings and bumps here and there in the house. It's an old house. You do see on a table with a great deal of crayons and markers and the like, pictures of robots and superheroes and children's drawings, lots of children's drawings. cookies.
Any of them look like the brightly colored robot we saw on the security footage last session?
A couple of them could be, if you're, looking at it through a child's eyes, it could be that or something similar. This kid's a little beyond the stick figures, so it's could be close enough.
Wraith's going to go with the knowledge that she has a message, Arthurian, saying house looks clean in records, kids, potential soup, teachers commenting he's a bit strong. He's one to watch for. Give it a few years. Nothing hinky.
Some of the drawings in the house look kind of like the robot that we saw, but
The robot was
10-year-olds
primary colors.
right.
I'm seeing what you see, Shuffle, and I don't think there's a connection at this point. So, kid, I agree with Wraith. There might be something to look for later. The kid may develop abilities, but at this point, I think that we're barking up a tangent here. I think we're just getting off on a tangent. Let's go ahead and hit the orphanage and see what they've got.
Sorry.
Bless you. Damn you, Pavlov.
So when you pull up to the orphanage, you're going to see a 3-story building. There's a little copper plate on the doorway that says home for foundlings. It's an older building.
Especially as they say foundlings.
Yeah. It's got a fence across the front, and he pulls up, parks, and says, "They called ahead for you."
I float right on out.
Ruffle will follow along.
You see the concrete is covered in sidewalk chalk. The sidewalk chalk just kind of climbs up parts of the house, the front door of the front of the building, everywhere. Clearly children play in this yard all the flipping time, but they took all the stuff inside with them.
To me, that's a good sign that children are happy enough and relaxed enough to play here.
As you get closer to the door, you hear playing inside. It's getting louder. You can hear the occasional adult voice reminding children they have chores to do, things like that.
I'll have Killer to Ultron just kind of lay down on top of the van right now.
Okay.
So that way he's not really in sight, but he's available if we need him.
Okay.
And as I float towards the front door, I open it telekinetically because, hey, I can. I can move 6 tons if I really want.
You're going to hear a commotion inside the door, and you are going to be greeted by a rather muscular woman with arms crossed, asking quite clearly and somewhat aggressively, "Is there a reason there's a jar of jam trying to break in the front door?"
I am
Ray?
Carlos Vladiskov. I am not a jar of jam.
Wraith has not got her mask on, so she just looks like an average whatever. Looks at the woman and goes, "Sorry, they're a bit eager. They forgot how to knock. My deepest apologies. I believe you were expecting us?"
I lack hands for knocking,
You could
as
have
you may have
asked.
noticed.
Look
The
at
jam
this.
is with you. She looks at Ray. The jam is with you.
Yes.
Ah, come with me. She'll lead you to a sitting room. You can hear children everywhere, but you can see through the door into the dining area, children putting away dishes. Sometimes they're jumping around, dodging around each other. They are everywhere. And clearly supposed to be doing work right now, but they're children. In the sitting room, you will find 3 or 4 older looking couches, a couple of kids that get shooed out, told go help with the laundry or what have you. We have company to talk to. And they will dance around you, run around you to get out and go head for the stairs.
Gentlemen, using your polite voices, I'm assuming you can talk with this wonderful lady. I think I'm going to go check out and talk with the kids.
I am always polite.
Oh, this is going to go well. She's going to turn and just go where the gaggle of the older children are.
Okay. We'll get to where you're going in just a second then. The nice lady is going to sit down and ask, this was about Kayla, I believe.
Yes, we found her briefly in Italy and then she disappeared.
She does that well.
She was in a warehouse that had been robbed of, well, there's been a rash of thefts of both industrial equipment and baking goods.
She is going to look very worried all of a sudden and go, oh no, I did not know she was involved in such things when she slipped away. I'm sorry. She's a special one. She's capable of slipping away in the most annoying fashions. She can turn into little animals.
Her ability to slip away is not something we are concerned with, nor is it something that she should be ashamed of. The ones that she is associated with are more that's concerning us now. And we feel that she may have fallen in with a bad crowd.
She was involved with the robberies. Clearly, she got into a bad crowd. Or she may have been playing where she shouldn't have been.
Are there other special ones here?
It's odd to say. We've had a few. One child's a little faster than the others, but I think he may be hiding a bit of speed. We have another who's, well, she can't turn into small animals. She does not slip away easily at all. It is difficult to hide a literal elephant in a room. She doesn't like to get out much. She can't control it well yet.
Super orphanage, got it.
Still, it is impressive.
We've only got the 3 that are like this. They just came to us.
Can you introduce us to them?
The 2 that are here, certainly. We haven't seen Kayla. And she will open the door and stop a kid and ask him, John, can you please find Eliza and Jacob and have them come see me? Slowly. Have him come see me slowly. And she'll turn around and ask, would you like tea?
Sure.
I'll take care of the tea. Please wait here. We'll be back in a minute.
Thank you very much.
The offer.
Wraith, you are going to find. Let's see, hold on. I got to think through what kinds of chores happen in these places.
I go and sit myself down on a table for tea.
In the kitchen. There you go. Go ahead.
Vacuuming dishes, sweeping, laundry.
In the kitchen, you're going to find a couple of older kids getting dinner ready. Like they're cutting vegetables. They're preparing the stuff for dinner because it's something they can do, and keep an eye on the younger children who may or may not accidentally drop a stack of plates. Are you going to approach them?
Yep.
Okay. Got 2 boys and a girl, about 13, 14, and a 12-year-old who's washing dishes. 12-year-old little boy. Who are you talking to?
All of them. Just kind of, hey, I am the fountain of dumb questions. Please answer.
The teenagers are going to look at you like, okay, sure.
Yeah, I know, but hey, at least I'm being an adult and honest with you, right?
Sure. The 12-year-old is going to blush, clearly shy, and go back to the dishes and just kind of ignore your existence.
That's fine. The little one that's missing. How many people tagged along with her on her little out and abouts?
They're going to kind of look at each other and go, you mean Kayla?
Yeah, Kayla.
Nobody. She slips out when she's not supposed to. She's got to be real small to slip out.
Interesting. Really interesting. Next dumb question. Robots. I know this sounds ridiculous. Trust me, there's a floating brain. Robots.
The older boy, about 14, looks at you, goes, what do you want to know about robots? While the girl, about 13, walks over and locks a particular cupboard and gives you kind of a weird look.
Have you seen any brightly colored, very attractive to children?
We saw 2 right before the warehouse up the road got robbed. They just marched right down the road, and then next thing we hear, a couple hours later, there's sirens because it's on fire.
Which road?
Road out front. And he's going to point further than you. You haven't driven past that part yet. Like the van's pointed that way.
And she's going to look at the girl and go, why are you afraid of me? Why are you locking something up? Because I am not here to hurt. I'm not here to get anybody in trouble. I'm trying to find the little girl that I met yesterday who is sweet and hyper and gives some of the best hugs I've had in my lifetime.
I'm not afraid of you. That's the wine cupboard.
That's fair. That is completely fair. All right. What else can you tell me about her? Because
she can turn into... Go ahead.
You guys' perceptions of her are going to be different than what the adults are, and we need...
She can turn really small. She likes to be around people. She likes to be cuddled up with anyone, anything, and she doesn't know danger from a hole in her head. Apparently, when you can turn into anything to get out of anything, you don't learn to avoid things quick.
Does she have any fast healing to go with the little Morphe games?
No, she's just really good at avoiding danger. Avoiding anything she doesn't like. She's also got a sweet tooth like all get out. Getting her to the dentist is a real trick.
Really?
It's hard to get a mouse into the dentist.
But that'd be hilarious to see on a video clip. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Got a good point. We might need to find a phone or a camera next time.
Right. You actually have no idea how tremendously useful that information was. Thank you so much.
Are you trying to help her come back safely?
That is the plan.
Then that is why we help.
Cool. So go join the boys.
About then, the children will walk up to the door, and the woman is going to come up behind them with a tray with cups and 2 teapots on it and set it down on the thing. She'll point and say, that one's tea, that one's cocoa for the children. And she will introduce Jacob, a 6-year-old little boy, and Eliza, about 10 years old. Redheaded little girl, big old glasses, blue dress. Jacob is wearing sweatpants, just a sweatsuit, little red sweatsuit. And very, very fidgety, as most 6-year-old boys are going to be when set in front of you.
Hi.
Hi.
That's a very nice dress, Eliza.
Thank you. Eliza is staring and very confused by the brain.
It's okay to stare. I'm used to it. Rafe, thank you for the information. Very helpful.
Interesting, isn't it?
It is.
Hey, you guys, dumb question. And relax, you guys are not in trouble. Like, legit, because not my vibe. You see her go to her phone and like, am I gonna respond? No, I'm not. Not yet. I got a silly question for you. Robots. You seen any? Like brightly colored?
So little
I'm
boy's
scanning to
gonna
see if they're telling the truth.
little boy's just gonna light up. He's like, yeah, we saw some. They went down that way. They were awesome and huge. And I'm not really sure how we got the nuts and bolts down in some of those tight spots. That's really cool. And he's just gonna keeps talking. And Eliza's just gonna look at Wraith and tell her, I was in the library. I heard them yelling about it, but I tend to stay in the books.
Books are pretty important, Eliza. Rafe, how fast can you run? Sorry, Jacob, how fast can you run?
Well, I haven't managed to run past a car yet, but I can beat the neighbor's dog.
That's awesome.
I'm not supposed to do that in the house.
No, in the house, you can't really build up enough speed. You don't have enough room.
Oh, I can. The problem is I can't turn that fast.
I could see where that would be a problem, running into walls.
Yeah.
Or other people. Or furniture.
You just run over the people.
I found pretty quick that if you hit the people or the furniture, you trip and the wall's next.
That's true. So Jacob, when you saw the robots, did you see anything else? Like where you saw what direction they were headed. Did you see them coming back?
No, the matrons made us come inside and go to bed when things lit on fire.
Oh, that's boring.
Yeah.
Have you seen any robots since?
No, just the vacuum. And we broke that.
How'd you break it?
Eliza's going to turn bright flippin' red. An elephant stepped on her.
Well,
It can
you
be
can't
tough
really help
learning
that.
it can be tough learning how to use your superpowers properly and safely. Accidents happen.
She's
You
going to
wanna-
adjust her glasses and look at you really close and goes, "That's what the matrons told me. You had that problem too?"
Oh yeah. You ever accidentally open a portal up inside something? It's not good.
That sounds dangerous.
It'll cut it in half,
I
no
accidentally
matter what
made
it
someone
is.
nightmares and made their nightmares real.
I fell asleep and woke up in the living room and scared my parents half to death.
Wow. Suddenly the elephant doesn't sound so bad.
The trick is find some time in a safe place and keep practicing.
Practice makes perfect.
The matron behind her is going to say, "That's what the laundry room's for, dear," and pat Eliza's shoulder.
It also helps to practice with other people who have powers. Do you know anybody else who has powers?
Eliza's going to kind of slowly shake her head. "My uncle did, but he passed away last year."
Oh, I'm sorry.
What could your
That's
uncle do?
okay. He could walk through walls. It wasn't a lot of help for me anyway.
Not for you, but it could help you with concentrating and help you with concentrating and envisioning what you want to do.
That might help. The speedster has stopped talking, and he's just kind of mouth hanging open after some of the things you guys said. And he just kind of stops and goes, "I had some friends who have powers, but I'm not
Really?
sure where
Who?
they're at."
Can you tell us about them?
Sure. I had a friend who could move things with her mind, but she was before I wound up here. And you'll notice while he's talking, he's got a bit of an Irish accent. So this before was probably before he was in England. And then he'll say, "I have a couple of other friends. One says he's got superpowers, but I'm not really sure. He just seems to tinker a lot."
What does he tinker with?
I don't know, wires and bolts and pieces. I don't like that kind of stuff.
Do you remember his name?
Jake or Jones or not real sure. He only told me once.
Where
I'm
do
gonna
you meet
try
him?
and- I'm going to try and dig into his head telepathically and find out.
All right, I'm going to roll that one.
See if he can recall it at all.
All right, keep in mind you're dealing with a 6-year-old. So
Yep.
what you're actually going to find is that no, you cannot get that name.
Okay.
But you see a kid wearing a classic comical lab coat, way the hell too big for him, baggy, sitting there with a visor on. Not visor, visor's the wrong. He's
Goggles?
welding. He's welding. That
Oh, okay,
thing.
okay. Welding mask. Yeah.
Welding, holding the arm of a very sleek, very Ultron-esque robot, welding a plate on the arm. Muttering and gibbering. This kid is maybe 12, maybe. If he's 12, he's a small 12, but your brain wants to go, okay, he's older because of what he's doing.
Great. I'm looking at Jimmy Neutron.
That's a good descriptor. Looks a little different. This is a clearly a Mexican kid. From what you can see, the tan, the whole bit, but he's barehanded doing this welding, which is a little concerning, but probably you've seen excited 12-year-olds. They do dumb shit. And that's what you're gonna get, is just this image this kid remembers because he's 6 and detailed information does not. He seems like a very distracted child in the first place.
I share the image with everybody else.
From this image, can I discover anything that can help me pinpoint this little fucker? I assume I have to roll.
Go ahead and roll. Are you looking at the environment around the kid or the kid himself?
The environment around, anything that'll give her clues, which she'll know where to look.
See what you roll.
This 15 plus 7,
unfortunately,
22?
I can't share the image with Kid Ultron.
22. Okay, so what you get...
2, 3, 3, 4. It's awareness plus perception, right? Plus what you roll?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Then 2 more to that, 22. Or
okay.
23. Something like that. Yeah.
So you are looking at around him. I'm going to give you a little more than the 6-year-old probably remembered just because of that roll. What you see initially is the kid and the robot. It's a very sleek. This looks like a less detailed freaking Ultron. Okay, that's what this bot looks like. A little smaller. If this is a 12-year-old, a little bit smaller than Ultron here. This isn't quite adult human-sized bot. There's a kid sitting, he's barefoot, barehanded, sitting on a drum, an oil drum of some kind. It's a nice, sleek, new-looking oil drum, so it's not like, rusted and out of it. Next to him is a very sophisticated tool chest that's opened, and you can see this huge array of tools, just everything possible from the tiniest screwdriver to the welding equipment at the bottom. Huge. This is like a fridge. Behind the robot, behind the fridge, you see a slap hazard metal shed. You are inside a metal shed, metal building, warehouse looking building where it's a machine shop. But you can see rust holes in the siding. You can see through that, you can see orange dirt, cactuses. Down on the floor, there's a bunch of sand, sandy orange dirt. It's a very, very sophisticated tool chest and a sophisticated bot in what is clearly not where they should be. It looks very out of place in this shed, garage, whatever you want to call it.
You ever been to the United States before, Speedy?
Jacob.
Maybe? I'm not sure. Mom and Dad moved me around a bit. There were a lot of boats involved.
You ever live in a place that had really, really big cactuses? Green things that you weren't supposed to touch because ouch.
I think we were in that one for about a week. I remember the cactuses. We were on our way through there.
Gee.
And the matron's going to put a hand on his shoulder and stop him and tell you his parents were dealers of a type.
Mexico. That's where they were.
Could I get their last name, please?
Jacob's last name is O'Malley. I need to write that down. And the matron's going to tell you, let's finish with the children's questions, and then I can give you a little more of the background if you want. Making it clear this is not something she's willing to tell you in front of the child.
Thank you very much, Jacob. That was a huge help. And Eliza, just remember to practice, practice, practice safely, and you'll have it down in no time at all, I promise.
If that's all you have for them, children, pour yourselves a nice mug of chocolate and set out front with it, please. You've been very helpful. Do you have any more questions for the kids?
Nope.
Okay. So they're going to do that. They're going to pour themselves some big old mugs of hot chocolate with, you can see the matron deliberately ignoring the amount of marshmallows that's going in those cups. And they're going to dance out the front door. She's going to look at Wraith after she's made sure the children are gone and closed the door and tell you, his parents moved around a lot. They dealt in illicit drugs, the kinds that go across borders. I don't know the full details, but I know there were some very dangerous things in several countries after them.
Did they have a nickname that you knew of?
No, we just received Jacob and we're told that his parents are not allowed to have contact with them again.
So they're still alive.
To the best of my knowledge, they are in prison.
Oh.
Here or elsewhere?
Somewhere in the country. I don't know where. They moved Jacob across the country. A good 4-hour drive to bring him to us.
Perfect.
Please do not share his name. There are people who would come find him to get at them.
Not a worry, matron.
And that's when Shuffle will pull out a business card and say, if you think that's happening, call me.
I'll be sure to keep that in mind. Eliza has been here since she was an infant. I don't think any connection she had could be traced, even if she was a problem. She rarely leaves the building. We have to force her to leave the building sometimes just to get some sunlight.
Try to get her to play in the backyard with the shapeshifting. That should help. She needs the room, I'm sure.
That is something we will get better at. It may help to get her into gardening as well.
If she needs help, let me know. And I will definitely try and help her with the control. Telepathy also requires a great deal of control as well.
Thank you.
Let's see. I send a message to Kid Ultron to have 800 euros transferred to the orphanage.
Okay. Is that anonymous or
Nope.
with your name attached?
Yeah.
Okay. You will receive a note or card later this week when the matron actually finds out what the heck.
She'll wind up sending it to the embassy, to my embassy.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
It's great being a dictator.
Mental note to ask Pinky in the brain for a loan when I need it. Damn.
Hey, it's great being a dictator. Telling you.
Okay, so it's good to be the king. Thank you very much. I understand that one. Yeah, good job.
Where are we going next? Are we going up the road to the warehouse or?
I'm actually going to send a message to Edward.
Okay.
With the information that we have about this kid, and asking if we can get any information about the parents who are in prison. And then I'm going to let him and Arthurian know that our next stop is the site of the robbery.
Okay. Message has been received. They will get back to tell you that they're going to look into it and get you what they can. It may take them a day or two.
Actually, no. I'm gonna do something a little different. I would like to roll tracking and see if I can see where the robots came from.
Okay. You're gonna love this. Hold on. So I'm gonna give you this as a freebie. Don't worry about rolling it.
I
They
just rolled a
came.
nat 20.
Okay. They came from here or there. They came from the floating city. Where in the floating city you can't pin from down here. But
Okay,
when you get back to their
can I
you'll
get
be
a
able to figure it out.
starting point in the floating city where they transitioned from so that I can track them back once I'm back on the floating city?
From where you're at, you can see they jumped from the air dock.
Do I know when roughly?
Let me find out. Shortly before the robbery.
I'm going to text that information to Edward and say, hey, the things that did this jumped off of the air dock on Here Nor There shortly before the robbery. Can you pull surveillance footage from the area that they would have jumped from and track them back?
Absolutely. Let me write this down. We're talking. Stop it.
Is Shuffle sharing this information?
Yeah.
Because you got him on the line, I have a dude, you gotta stop doing that shit. And she's looking at the brain. Anyways. Where was El Florino in relation to each robbery? It might let us know where they might target next. If they're going, if the robberies are in the same order as where the city has been, we've got a kind of direction in which they are going. But if they're random and not always jumping from the platform, then that lead goes nowhere.
We will look into it. I will get that information to you as soon as I can. And that's, yeah. Making a note for me now.
Don't think trying to, yeah.
Okay. Are we moving forward to the robbery site?
And
Sure.
as she's been texting this whole time, Arthurian, she's gonna send another text that says, we're going to the warehouse. The house is just a house. At this point in time, we will fill you in.
Thumbs up emoji.
All right.
Yep,
Go ahead.
I'll float back into the passenger seat in the van. Hey guys, does this seem like an unusually high area of supernatural kids to you?
No, because of the magical sources that are here in this part of the world. I mean, we literally have, freaking...
Yeah, you've got several ley line nexuses here, but I don't know. Just seemed odd to me.
We got the chibi version of King Arthur walking around with a sword way too fucking powerful for his stuff going on. Super kids are not going to shock me here.
I don't know. I think it's just been a planetary phenomenon, honestly. I think more and more kids have been supers lately. Seems like there are more and more supers as long as I keep doing this.
Well, in Russia, we don't have a lot of supers. Well, in Russia, they don't have a lot of supers.
Well, isn't that because they exterminated a lot of them?
Not exterminated, recruited.
Yeah, so if you don't want to work for any regime and you're a super and you don't want your children exploited by any regime, how much of that supering are you going to report to your local government?
Well, my problem became when, as a diplomat and a dictator, my telepathy started to bud, and then the American government sent a Black Ops team to kill me and my family. Fortunately, one of my cabinet ministers was able to get me into this life support unit, or at least what was left of me.
Well, I'm glad that you're at least as alive as you are.
Alive, yes.
Sounds like
Able to enjoy a steak dinner, not so much.
Pity. Maybe someone in the here nor there can help, and maybe a prosthetic body is an option or something. Who knows?
Oh, I'm fine now. As a result, my powers have shot up tremendously. And when I find everyone in that Black Ops unit, I'm going to do to them what they did to me. So,
Don't tell the little white knight. He will have moral issues.
I think the O'Malleys really are our best point. But let's go ahead and check out the robbery site.
It seems to me like maybe they're the best point, or maybe it's, I don't know. Their career of misdeeds may not necessarily be related to his budding career of misdeeds.
Not directly. Not directly, no. But they
We'll
may
know
have
what part of
information that
Mexico
can
they were
lead to
in.
the child.
Because they were either in
Right.
Mexico or Arizona
Exactly.
Fair
or
enough.
parts of New Mexico. Like there's this whole swamp that they could be in. They should be able to help us pinpoint where tech prodigy boy is. Because it
All
does
the way
make
along
sense.
that border, right there, along that Mexican border. That's all red dirt, iron in the sand, Tatooine, if you will, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona.
Another thing I want to know is, did the bakery robberies happen before or after Kayla joined in? The kids at the front, we're talking about how she has a sweet tooth. And as we saw, well, you didn't, sorry, but as the rest of us saw, she is very affectionate, very just fun, very bright, open child. And she clings to affection. The minute that we were not, the minute she was not the center of attention, boom, gone.
Could be.
So it'd be an interesting tack to see if that's why the bakeries are being robbed, because that makes no fucking sense. Unless it's another child trying to appease a younger child.
If it's children, then it could be that they all have a sweet tooth. Hell, I've had to deal with men who would kill a gas station attendant for a Klondike bar.
That was only in Florida.
Other things you shouldn't say in front of Arthurian. Question, Robbie, about Carlos. Can he tell when people are lying?
Only on surface thoughts.
Okay, because she wasn't really hiding it. The whole story about her floating down is complete bullshit.
I wasn't worried about that.
Because we missed.
Helped you
Go ahead.
identify with the children, so I wasn't going to call you on it.
Cool.
So
All right.
I'm totally not sweating it. all he can really do telepathically mostly is read surface thoughts. Anything else is considered like an attack. He can do mind control, but it's compelling first. It's a staged affliction. So
Thank you for knowledge.
I'm going to call a break here in a second because I need to go deal with some noise. But because we missed last week, because I was sick, I'm going to give you guys a freebie. As the players, you have laid eyes on 5 out of 6 at this point. As a group, you have laid eyes on 5 out of 6 of the people you're looking for at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go to break, and then we'll come back for the robbery site. Junie, you're going to knock us to break, right? Please.
Yeah, already.
Hello.
Stick around much.
What do I have to roll for that anyway, Junie?
To cut bacon?
No, to call the strays in the area.
Animal King?
No, to totally cut bacon.
No. Unless you
roll
have
Dex.
I feel like that's Dex plus athletics.
No, but wouldn't that be strength plus dex because the strength to actually cut through the bacon? Because sometimes it's a bitch to get through.
It's not right.
It's just bacon.
Boy, I hope Small Bacon's
when you
not
have
watching
the
right now.
If you have the really good thick bacon, sometimes it can be a bitch if the knife's not sharp enough.
No, I feel like that would be strength plus melee. Oh, maybe
Why are we having this conversation?
Why would Amelia
Dex
or
plus
Charlotte
melee.
allow dull knives into the kitchen?
Because they
Do you
more
have?
damage.
If you have any points in strength or dex, I would assume that you can cut bacon.
I mean, it's very important though. Do you chop off a finger accidentally and then give the cats an extra, bite?
Not recently, thank you.
We broke you.
Jonah, you've got to find a rule book and tell me what the hell I'm supposed to roll to call cats.
Are you using the proper cutting techniques? Not extending your fingers to hold the bacon?
Oh, we moved on from the bacon. Stop.
No, I'm legit fucking concerned now.
Oh God.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna take my fangs out of it. I'm gonna set it down. I'm gonna cut it in a little bits.
Okay, I think that it would be dex and melee, right?
I think Dex and Melee are Dex and Melee is probably the better choice.
There, dex and melee.
If
You
you're
answered
gonna
our own
roll
question.
that. Should you roll that though? I feel like that's taken IRL rolling to a new extreme. Like you roll a 1 and you're like, oh, there goes my hand.
She's gonna keep track of that timing and pull out her phone and see if it's from Gabe finally that says, where are you, mommy dearest? The baby wants a puppy and daddy just can't deal with this nonsense anymore.
Shit's getting weird,
You want to see how it's done? I'm gonna walk over. I'm gonna put my 3 fingers in between and use premonition.
I run up and do it again on that tree before he can touch the tree.
I will punch you square in your fucking vision eye.
Oh.
Don't put me under him. His mouth's too small.
No, I was quick.
Okay, that's another thorn, all right? Look,
What? It was quick?
you tried to deep throat a microphone one time, all right? And then it just all goes out the window.
Really, if I just need to borrow the helicopter, I just let you know.
Sure, why not?
You know what? Why don't you book it for me for Wednesday? I think I'll need it then.
Well, I'm not sure that booking it is the right term. I'll text the pilots to be ready. About what time?
Oh, let's call it early evening.
So say 7:30.
Perfect.
Okay. Do you need the big one or the little one?
The big one, please.
Okay. Done.
I'm just gonna say, hog in the back, up towards Gwen.
No. Bacon in the back seat.
No. Yeah, bitch. No.
Yeah, it takes one to know one.
There's a Harley.
50,000.
Okay, so I'm flush right now. I'm good for
So with
probably a week or 3.
that, not wrong.
well, with the way people keep leaving the water on when they take goddamn showers, I'd have to pay for that.
I just like to smell pretty, alright?
Fucking Gabe.
One site. Did she explain what the technocracy is?
Nope.
Bunch of nerdy mages that have hard on for reading.
Oh yeah, that.
Kind of.
Basically, like you.
Gwen falls over laughing. Artemis falls over laughing. The tape falls over laughing. We burn the table.
I'm like actually doing this in character.
We're all murder hobos.
No.
Not quite.
No.
No, you can't.
I
be
could be a
murder hobos.
lot worse.
This is true.
You own a home. You are murder homeowners.
That's true.
No, you're a murder baron now, remember?
Oh, yeah. Trade my power for glory.
Unseat my seatbelt and get out and say, "Get Victoria home," and I dip out of the car.
I jump out of the car too. No.
Child safety locks. Fuck you.
I'm in the front seat. They don't have
I
to
know. I know. You would think.
Nope, I
Gwen's
that
just
too.
like, the fuck?
What just happened? No one knows. What is Melky thinking?
No, what's Toreador thinking?
Oh Lord, Artemis, it's Gabe. Can you hear me?
You're on speakerphone.
Yes, apparently.
Artemis, darling, listen. I had to cut your brother up to save him. He will be fine. I just need to put him back together. You can be pissed at me later, but right now we have to find a puppy.
You're
like
not
the
a
puppy?
Zinisi. You don't even have that capability, do you? Did you eat one?
No, but that's beside the point. Anyway, look.
What?
How did Artemis become the babysitter? What the hell?
That's the way it's always been.
You like the puppy, right? We have to go find the puppy.
You like the puppy?
The puppy's the only decent one out of you guys.
Wait a minute. You found William. You C3P'd my brother.
He
and
was
you're
already.
going to Chewbacca?
He was already C3. I just PO'd.
It's literally when you go to open your doors, there is no apartment.
I'll be right back. I sort of walked over there. I opened the door, I closed the door. God damn it!
In his direct line, you would get, of course, his standard, "You've reached William. Please leave a message and I will get back to you at my earliest convenience."
You have reached.
You have reached.
You have reached
Marriage.
William. Please message me at your earliest convenience.
I'm pretty sure even Jean-Luc would take offense to this.
Because while we are waiting... So I kind of am changing the music a little bit. Un momento.
Dunce, 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 dunce. Dunce, 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 dunce.
Fuck you!
The system is down, 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 down.
Can I retract my statement about the music in the club being pumping?
And,
Whoa! No, steak knife bad. Put this in the sink.
No,
Wrong
no,
knife.
no!
Fire
Fire
knife
knife is
thing.
bad, just like dice in the oven in the Batman car. With
Not enough premonition? He didn't do premonition that much. Oh, she's gone. She's gone.
Is she grabbing her inhaler? Oh, no, she's going to me.
She just walked out.
Yes!
That needs to be a clip. We need. I don't care if it's gonna fuck up my internet.
No, I think my neighbors are all thinking I'm insane.
Frank's gonna bleed out, or Frank's gonna bleed out.
Wait,
William's gonna
don't we
bleed
know
out.
a Russian? Call that Russian person.
What Russian person?
Yeah, call the Russian.
Olga, call Olga.
I don't have Olga's number.
I have to hang up with you guys to call Olga.
All right, wonderful. I'll text you where we're gonna be.
Oh God.
Love you. Kisses. Bye.
Fuck you.
What a condescending fucking Tremere.
Wait a minute.
I hate dial.
Did he
Olga's
actually
number.
say he loved you? Wait a minute. If you guys all in a relationship that I don't know about.
Take and I kiss and I use premonition.
Oh, Jesus Christ! You asshole!
You should have seen this coming.
I had considered not doing it just to everyone off.
Hi,
but
buddy.
Carlos is dark.
Speaking of dark, we're back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. So, you are coming up on a large. Hold on, I can hear myself twice. No, stop it. There. All right. It is a massive warehouse. We're talking like Walmart storage warehouse. This is their distribution center. Let's go with that. A Walmart distribution center. You can see one side of the building is a little charred and covered in damn it, the stuff you climb. Crap, scaffolding. There we go. They're trying to fix the side of the building. There's workers freaking everywhere, obviously. And what are you doing? I would like the brain to please stay a bit away from the scaffolding just because you're in a fucking jar.
I'll stay in the car as long as anybody else can see stuff. I can see through them.
That's fine. It's just that it's bricks and a jar. No.
Oh, it's got full on protection, impervious.
Okay, then you're fine. Whatever.
Bulletproof.
No, when you have the resources of a country, you build a really good brain in a jar.
Fair, actually, yeah. What are we doing?
I'm gonna check with Arthurian and see if he feels like he still needs to be there. Has he seen anything since we left that seems suspicious?
Don't seem suspicious. Don't seem suspicious.
Not seeing anything, but well, that's a 15 on talking to people. Or sorry, 14, my bad.
Where are you still by the house?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've greeted 3 children.
He's like
teen.
He's just trying to catch the vibe of like, oh, like, are there often people coming in and out of that house? Like, is it actually lived in or is it a cover?
The first house with the kid with the grandma, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you
It's a
talk to the
four-family
neighbors, if you talk to the neighbors, they will tell you that it's a big home. There aren't as many people in as there used to be. But yeah, no, we've got 4 adults that go to work every day. Nana we see on occasion, but she comes out to water the plants and get the mail and goes back inside. She's old. She uses a walker. Bobby helps her around the house during the day. He prefers staying home with grandma to going out and playing with his friends.
Okay.
You'll notice 3 children, 1 about Bobby's age and 2 older, coming back in, giving you a weird look because you look a little out of place on their way into the house. But other than that, they just go inside.
He'll ping the eyes in the sky to keep an eye on the place, but yeah, he'll fly over.
Okay. Well, I would like to roll another tracking attempt to, or does the last one carry over? Can I see kind of where they came in and where they went?
Oh, with the roll you got, yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay.
They went through the wall that they are repairing. Yes, they collapsed half of the wall on the side of a distribution center. Subtlety was not in the programming.
Are there any like paint colors smeared on the debris to show what the robots looked like?
Most of the debris on the outside has been removed. They are in the process of repairing this thing.
Okay. He'll go around through the door inside so he's not walking through the scaffolding and try to pick up the trail and see where they went and what they did.
You will be stopped by
the ignition point.
Sorry, what?
Wraith, can you find the ignition point? It said there was a fire.
Go investigate.
If you're going through the front door, you're going to be stopped by a security guard who goes, "Hold up, you're not wearing safety vests. Who are you?"
That's why I asked Wraith.
Who am
I'm
I?
Shuffle.
That's Shuffle. I'm Erica. And we were sent because of the boomy, fooshy, steely thing. I assure you, we don't need safety gear.
We're professionals.
Oh.
Division 6.
I guess that explains the jar.
I'm in the car.
You're in the car. Okay.
Yeah, I'm communicating telepathically. Sorry.
Yeah, he's got a range of what? Probably 3-4 miles.
So whatever.
Yeah.
He's going to push across. He's going to kind of rub the bridge of his nose and push 3 "Hi, my name is" stickers and a Sharpie across the desk.
Gonna write Inigo Montoya, stick it on. 2, by the way.
Dude, because I'm not there.
There's Arthurian's coming with you, isn't he?
Oh, right.
Oh, right. I thought he was
gonna
still...
write Inigo Montoya on it.
He flies at
He's fast.
256 miles an hour, I think.
Is that all?
Oh my god. Right.
Yeah.
The security guards just like put those
After you
on.
when you reach Mach 1.
Put those on and you're not my problem anymore. And he'll wave and sit back down and go back to the paperwork in front of him with a very "I don't get paid enough for this shit" attitude going for him.
Got a couple questions for you because you're probably the only one smart enough to freaking answer me because you have to pay attention to everything. Where was the main fire start at? I know if you're the safety guy, you've got to keep them away from that because we all know how stupid people are.
Well, right now, it's mostly just the construction people. But see that pillar over there? And he's going to point to what looks like a concrete pillar that's way the hell wider than it should be. And it's got a couple of electric boxes stuck around it. Like outlets, things like that. He's going to go, that's where it started because someone punched that. And by someone, I mean a robot.
I'm assuming that's hollow and there's a whole bunch of electrical cords. Kind of thingy. Aha.
Yeah. You'd think they'd be smart enough not to put the barrels next to it, but no.
Barrels?
Oil, we've got all kinds of things stored in here. We've got coconut oil, we've got cooking oil, we've got lube. I don't want to know why that's in that pile.
Fair.
I don't sort shit.
Fair. All right, another dumb question for you, sweetie. Do you have a manifest of whatever was taken?
Oh, hold on. He's going to pull open a drawer. He's rifling through 7 different piles of paperwork. He's clearly not used to doing this on this desk. And he eventually pulls out a piece of paper, thunks it down, powers up the computer, and then you hear an old 1980s printer going under the desk. And he's going to pull off 3 pieces of the old perforated printer paper where it's all stick together, folded.
Dot matrix printer paper. I love it.
Oh, and hand it over and go, that is an itemized list. You're going to have to guess with the codes. Sometimes it's a little weird, but you're smart, right?
I should hope so. But then again,
There
I
you
haven't
go.
had my coffee yet today, so we're in debate.
It's fair enough. The coffee's on the other side of that pillar if you want to help yourself.
Thank you, Brain Boy, because I know you're listening. Anything else that you need? And she said it just like that, looking up kind of aside.
Surveillance video, if they have any, obviously.
Duh. That's a duh. Last question from the voice from the outer world. Surveillance video. Copies, or the cops got the copies?
Here's the police report number, and he's going to scroll it down on that paper and then hand it
Sweet.
back.
You're a gem. The rest of this is you guys. I got
Enjoy your coffee.
Oh, hell no. Hell.
Any other
no.
questions?
Thank you. Not right now. And it's cool for the guys to.
Just don't open any boxes and you're good. Have fun.
Let me know you need me, boys.
We cannot hear you.
I realized that. I'll just head in and take a look around.
Okay. So you are seeing mountainous, the massive steel shelves. Sorry, I need to make that. A massive steel shelving units, blah, 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 covered in large crates, large saran wrapped pallets. Like we're talking the pallet kind of storage, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'll notice that a lot of the shelves look like they've just been haphazardly shoved over away from the wall because scaffolding and construction and ta-da-da. That pillar looks very charred, but you'll notice that there are electricians fixing the damn thing, working on the pillar, working on getting the boxes back up in there properly.
Mm-hmm.
The concrete is cracked and patched. This is clearly not a structural pillar. It's just there for the electronics.
Mm-hmm.
And there are scorch marks all over around there because they didn't bother cleaning that up that well. And that's all you really notice. They've clearly had time to do some cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and float out of the truck and go to the construction site and notify the men to stand back. And then I'm going to use their materials to reconstruct the wall.
One of them's going to stop. They're going to stop, and they've got a sledgehammer, and they are pointing it at you quite threateningly. You ain't supposed to be here unless you've talked to the security guard.
He's with me.
He needs a tag.
You think I'm going to get one of these on that? It's a floating brain, you moron. How the fuck am I supposed to do that?
How do I fill it out?
I only get paid for 2 things, all right? I get paid to fix this wall and not let people fuck around that haven't seen the security guard.
How
you get
would
a sticker
you like to
or you
have the
stick.
wall fixed quickly and take the rest of the day off with pay?
Well, you could have started with that.
So please stand back and I'll have it fixed for you quickly.
He's going to holler at everyone to get them down off the scaffolding. Do you want the scaffolding moved?
Unnecessary, but if you want to move it, you can.
And they're going to roll it away for you and let you have at it.
All right. So I just rebuild the wall. I can move 6 tons with my mind, so why not? It's all just cinder blocks and concrete.
I've got to roll for the security guard now because he's not quite what he seems.
After I
He
Finish.
does not give a flying shit. He has pulled a flask out of his desk. Go ahead.
Yep. After I finish rebuilding the wall, I go back to the truck and settle back down. Figure I might as well do something heroic while I'm here.
You'll see a lot of very confused workmen poking at the wall. And a couple of them are on the phone. Just because they're confused and don't know what the hell to do now.
Mm-hmm.
Arthurian and Shuffle, what are you up to?
Just looking for, like, obviously we have where they punch the electric box. He's just kind of trying to catch a vibe of, like, where they went through, like, damage to the ground, mostly.
Okay, you will see some of these shoved over shelves do have some pink and green paint scrapes on them, which don't look like they belong there. You know, most of these things are scraped and have paint scuffs on them, but they ain't pink and green.
Mm-hmm.
Does the wasn't the robot that we saw on the security footage in Italy also pink and green?
It was red and yellow, I want to say.
Okay.
You did mention primary colors.
I believe so, yes.
Fair.
There's not a lot of damage, just the paint scrapes on the shelves. It looks like most of the damage did come from the fire, and obviously damaged goods have been removed, etc.
I rolled a 17 on investigate to see if I can find any more clues.
You're not going to find anything else apparent. You do get a vibe that also most of the workers are like, okay, this is a checklist we've got to go through, and that's it. They're just...
You said most. Are there any exceptions that stand out?
Well, the guy with a flask. And obviously the workers outside that are a little more like, what the hell are we supposed to do now?
Find another job for tomorrow. Because this one's done. Let's see.
Collect a paycheck?
I think Gary's gonna do some social gathering of information, just talk to people, catch their vibes, like see what they think of the events, just see if they saw any of the specific kids coming in and out, that kind of thing.
They didn't see any people with this one. It was just the bots. They do say there were actually 3 bots they noticed on the surveillance.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get that out of the workers inside. The ones outside are construction people. They don't work for the same company.
Mm-hmm.
The electricians are like, there's been an inordinate amount of pink in this box. But other than that, it's just, there's a lot of pink. And you can see he's trying to he's rewiring a box.
Gary was in Boy Scouts. He knows how painting works. He's going to collect a sample of that because that's very clearly not how paint should have worked.
You're not going to find any more pink. They've already cleaned up. But
he's going to take it from one of the shelves.
There you go. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, he's going to take a sample and he'll head to one of the bus stops and just bump up and go deliver it to Edward.
15 perception. Are you paying attention to anything that he's doing?
Yeah, that he's doing or anything that seems off.
All you're going to see is a guy with a flask who looks very stressed and very frazzled. If you look at what he's working on, you see inventory, payroll, and repair costs in front of him. This guy's the warehouse manager.
Well, his repair costs just went down.
Well, yes, that's not going to help the drinking problem right now. But
So he can dedicate that to vodka.
He's not a basic security guard. He moved his fucking desk to the front door. That's it.
Okay. Well, I think he's going to go back to the van. And he's going to wait for the others. And it is Carlos in the van still as well?
Yep. I came back to the van right after I repaired the wall. When you come back out, you'll see the wall's fixed.
You'll also see an awful lot of confused men kind of poking around and deciding, well, we might as well put the damn tools back in the boxes. Stacking bricks, tidying up, basically, while two men are on the phone.
Well, that's certainly an effective use of telekinesis.
What? I wasn't doing anything.
Oh, no complaints. That's well, last time I dealt with telekinesis, it was used in a much more destructive manner.
Telekinesis, just like telepathy, is a tool to be used constructively or destructively, as one sees fit. For example, you can use a hammer to destroy one's skull just as easily as you can use it to build one's home.
I'd argue even easier.
Oh, destruction is always easier.
I think that we should arrange discreet surveillance on all of these children that we've encountered. I know yesterday Wraith was saying that she thought that an adult was kidnapping or coercing them in some way, but I'm not so sure. I think this might legitimately be baby's first heist.
I'm thinking as a child now. Now that we have the things that are going on here, we're looking at a child. And we got the sweets. I need the timeline to really solidify it down. But I think we're looking at a child. We've got the manifest from all these different warehouses. I bet you what's been stolen is the same. I call it a little bit of gut work. One of the places that was robbed was, wow, a desert with red sand and cactus, and that's what we saw in the Vision Brain Boy Carlos, shared with all of us. Arthurian, you can get there faster, can't you?
Arthurian is currently on the here nor there.
Oh, never mind. Sorry, got distracted.
He moves stupid fast.
What, flight 7?
Flight 6, I believe.
Oh. That's respectable.
Yeah, flight 6. So he went to a bus stop, teleported to the here nor there to give a paint sample because paint usually doesn't come off in droves. So that immediately ticked to the Boy Scout brain.
Hey, you're just as fast as I am. Wraith, you are muted.
Yeah, I realized that. Sorry about it.
Okay.
I don't know why it kept muting me. I do have this
agree.
wonderful little ponder, though.
No, I agree. I think it's our little Jimmy Neutron guy. And I think our best bet to track him down quickly is to talk to the O'Malleys.
But I have a really dumb question before we do any of that. Why? Why is this such a big priority when there has been no deaths, no actual kidnapping, and all that's being built is robots? And you're trying to tell me that the eye in the sky hasn't been able to put together these very, very rudimentary things, that this is basic B&E with robots? Why did they put
cookies?
A team together of supers. Supers in powers, not necessarily in hats. But more to the point, there have been black hats in here, gray hats, and white hats. Why put a team of us together to go after a cupcake thief?
Hey,
maybe my guess would be that either they're someone important, or in the course of all this, they've got something important.
what do you mean black, white, and gray hat? I'm not sure what kind of a hat you think I'm wearing.
Metaphorical.
Oh no, even then, that's what I mean. It's never mind.
All government is functionally indistinguishable from organized crime. There's the
All
definition.
functioning governments are organized crime. They just get paid for it.
Well,
they get paid better for it.
Thus the distinction of hat color is a red herring usually.
Communism is a red herring.
That's okay. Your black hat's showing. You might want to get a body with that.
Hey,
has anyone looked at the list of things that were stolen yet?
Yes, she has it. She's like looking it over, trying to compare things and stuff. The rest
So
of the
you
data.
are seeing warehouse level. I'm not going to give you the exact amounts, but you can. It's a pallets, okay, pallets of various baking things, dried apples, dried fruit, flour, sugar, all kinds of stuff. The entire refrigerated section has been taken. More concerningly, further down the list, you are seeing very high-end tools that have been stolen, machinery parts, robot stuff. Some chemicals too. Namely, some chemicals that would be used to create things like thermite or bombs. Now, is that what they're using it for? The hell if they know.
This is interesting. So
Thermite's
basically,
easy.
we've got this. What's in this list is they basically recreated frozen ratatouille in their food choices with all the shit that they took. They basically took all the frozen sweet shit. Then we have more of the high-end robot-y crap bullshit you techie boys like. But what do kids need with thermite?
Well, the ingredients for thermite are actually pretty easy and pretty common.
Rust and aluminum, yeah.
Yeah, aluminum, iron oxide, and phosphorus. But phosphorus is naturally occurring.
Pastry terrorists. We're chasing pastry terrorists.
We're chasing pastries terrorists, and thermite would be a quick and easy, untraceable way to make power.
Or weld things, or
bake cookies.
I mean, technically,
it'll bake the contents of a tank.
I'm gonna look through the list that we have from the two warehouses and the one bakery, and see what, now that we have like some actual red flags, see if there's anything else that's actually red flagging in these lists, and then look through the files to see if they also have the manifests from the other robberies and start putting together what the concerning bits might be.
A lot of fireworks. Your basic robotic stuff, your basic baking stuff. Okay, more than basic. Like, it is clearly they're clearing out all the baking things they can find. Because they're children. Toys, things that the children you have run into would want. But yeah, the explosives and the fireworks and things, those are the concerning crap.
We got fireworks. Thermite is probably the worst on here. Some of the other chemicals, not necessarily good, not necessarily bad. The quantities could be concerning, but basically, we've got a genius mastermind with a sweet tooth who's collecting children with like-minded abilities and values. Are we really? We're literally going and hunting the island of misfit toys.
Which might actually be why we were tasked with this, because
It's Lord of the Superpowered Flies.
we understand how petty this actually is and are equipped to deal with it without escalating.
Why does it need to be dealt with? They're not hurting anybody except for a little bit of money.
That's why it needs to be dealt with.
The fastest way to get a child to retaliate in violence is to poke them with a stick. Hello, stick.
Not saying it's right, just saying money, money, money drives the world.
Well, and there are real consequences that even fairly sizable corporations suffer when too much happens to the money. This, if it continues, will affect people's jobs, their lives, their ability to care for their families. But, like I said, it's fairly petty, and they can probably be redirected into something more constructive.
Well, let's work on finding them. I say we talk to the O'Malleys, or at least let me talk to the O'Malleys. Find out where they were when they saw Jimmy Neutron. And then we go snatch him up. Or at least
that is when the computer pings.
Who he is. Computer ping.
Computer ping. Boop. Are we going to check the computer?
Yes. Boop.
Okay. So you're going to check the computer. You are going to find. Basically, it's doing a checklist. Like this is just what the computer does. It goes, okay, this message is here. This message is here. This message is here. That's what it does. Right? You remember how Microsoft Outlook used to pop up for you? That's the screen. First thing on the list is surveillance videos from here nor there. What they're going to tell you is there's a link to click, and the docs show that 3 robots, these are black and white surveillance videos, so, but you can see the shape that they're toy-shaped robots, walked to the end of the air dock and jumped the frick off. They came from a street near the dock. The videos show that they came up from the sewer grate. Now, this is the here nor there. So that sewer grate presumably does not lead to your average sewer. But there's no cameras down there. So this came up through a manhole. Next on the list is going to be O'Malley's. They are in a very high security prison in England, have been there for a year and a half. However, they can be traced through where they've gone for the previous 2 years. They have apparently been a problem that many countries were trying to catch since before that kid existed. They were caught and made a plea deal to have the child safely removed from their vicinity and protected in exchange for information on other dealers and their cooperation, but they are in prison and they are not getting out anytime soon.
They flipped on other dealers? Yeah, if that kid's existence comes to light, he is dead.
Yeah.
Question that I think would be general knowledge. Who is the overall? I know that you said that there wasn't exactly a leader But there's always a figurehead. Who's the figurehead of the here nor there?
That would be the guy you were talking to.
So it's Edward.
Mm-hmm. His corporation is what got the here nor there up there. They basically work with the supers and make sure everyone is staying on the up, and that they police other supers that are a problem to the law of normals.
She's going to text Arthurian and move him in. She's pretty much sure he can read and fly.
He teleported there. I suspect there may be something else going on, though. Is that correct, Tanari? From our little trade there?
I planned not to plan!
I rolled a 15. Does that help?
A 15 for what?
To figure out if there's something else going on there from that little trade.
Not at this point. Okay. So far, Edward's been very, very blank with you guys. It's.
Oh no, I meant
they were
in Denver.
No, I just like go for it.
Okay.
The next thing you're gonna find is that she did ask about the random locations. From what they can tell you, looking through the various things, a couple of robots at a time come up through a sewer manhole and go off the closest edge of the here nor there toward their destination.
And they just jump off and land.
They just jump off and land. Some of them fly, some of them have jets, but yeah,
I think we need to go to the here nor there. And
yeah,
I'm not exactly sure I want Edward or anyone else to know that we're there.
Okay.
This is just really, really weird. You're going to make a team of, five supers for one brainy kid and his gaggle of squirrels and some robots?
Let's do this.
Sorry, it doesn't sit right. Something's just weird. Or this is the stupidest fucking sorority test I've ever been through.
Well, they do try to police supers so that local governments don't have to, probably due to that escalation thing that I talked about earlier. Even a fairly mundane super, there's not a lot of ways to handle them for conventional police without getting violent, at which point you have a bunch of supers suffering violence for petty reasons, and they will retaliate in kind, and that gets very messy for everyone very quickly.
I'll be right back.
I do agree that we should go check out the sewers, and I think if we can get on here nor there, I can facilitate us getting down there without being seen.
And now you can get a really good look at the brain in a jar.
I don't have the resources, but someone needs to wipe that kid's files completely clean.
I don't think that security through obscurity is the answer. That's a step, but he needs to be with someone who's capable of retaliating. In a way that even supers working with dealers will understand and respect.
I might know a guy. If you want to
Okay.
put it like that.
Well, we can work something out.
Before you guys cut out from the here nor there's computer systems, because if you're going to try and keep them from finding you, they're going to have to do that. Are there any questions, surveillance, or things you want done from them beforehand?
Diagram of the sewers.
That'll take them a minute, but they will happily hand that over. I will, please remind me this week, baby. I will draw that out for you guys before next week.
Because this kid thing is actually going to bug her. Yeah, believes she's got contacts. I built her to have contacts, but did I actually write it down? Yes, haha. She's gonna call her people because I'm pretty sure they know someone who's in the market to make sure that child has a very, very good and safe life. Because that will bug the shit out of her.
Are you going to request that the boys' files be wiped through the here nor there network?
More to the point of someone's going to come in and want to adopt this wonderful little child, and this child will be safe and protected, even if it means someone else might leave the area in little pieces.
Which job?
Dash.
Okay, Jacob. Yeah, I'll have Eliza go to be adopted into my embassy through one of my cabinet members.
Okay. I'm going to put those notes down real quick. You're going to have to give me the information for whoever, Barry.
I'll USS make shit up.
That works for me.
Yep. My country is a small country on the border of Russia.
Alrighty. So, anything else that we're going to do, because we're going to have to do the here nor there next week.
Gonna
Dave,
try
that's
to
good.
arrange surveillance of these kids.
And where
Via
were
here
they
nor
now?
there? They're in a high security prison in England.
that's
You
where
ain't
they-
getting anywhere near them.
That's where they're currently at. Where were they previously when this encounter would have occurred?
Encounter.
With
Jimmy
Jacob
Neutron.
and Jimmy Neutron.
You'll have to look back at where they've gone through for that.
Okay.
But they have been tracking these people for a while, so
So-
you will find the closest possible in there.
Okay.
It would be a Mexico.
Okay,
Since-
Mexico it is.
Since Carlos is interested, I'd like to flex the fact that I have Excalibur, the sword of the King of England. And,
That's okay. I still have diplomatic immunity.
no, try and get us in to talk to those two.
We don't need to get in. Pull up next to the facility.
Legality
in range.
is important to Arthuria.
Arthurian is going to find himself swiftly refused.
And besides that, I can just convince a guard to walk me through.
Or, like I said, just sit outside the facility and read their minds from range.
One of these things is less likely to cause you problems than the other.
True. I can just float in and sit on the roof.
So is Arthurian back with them right now? Or is he still at the...
Yeah, he can be there.
Okay. So do you get why I want to go in not on full blast with the powers that be?
He'll motion to himself. Do I look like I can hide?
Yes.
Yeah, have you heard of this wonderful thing called a cloak?
I can hide you.
You stepped over a snake having a seizure on your way up there. You're fine.
Yes, but they know who we are.
They
I can
know who
focus.
every super is who gets on there.
Yes, no, the issue is Arthurian makes it very hard for you all to hide yourselves.
Nuh-uh.
No, you're gonna blend just fine. No
We're
one's
gonna
gonna
go up
fucking
there. We're
notice you.
gonna walk into an alley that does not have any cameras in it. We're going to walk through a portal that I'm going to open from that alley to the sewers that they've already told us don't have cameras, and we're going to do our investigation without anyone knowing.
Yeah, cameras are an issue for me, guys, but if it's people that you're worried about, I can totally cloak us.
No, it was the cameras because if
Yeah,
they
cameras
were
are an issue.
there and not reporting to them, there might have been an issue. That was why I brought up bright blue. And even if I'm normal, I still stand out.
That's why I'm suggesting a cloak.
And maybe a
black
dagger to
cloak
go with it. It's thematic.
closed with the hood up. You will blend a bit more.
You're gonna blend more in the cloak than you would if you looked normal.
And I can fit in a pelican case.
Okay, we can do that. I'll carry the pelican case and open it as soon as we get in there. Not that I think you need me to open it.
Not really, but I can fit in a pelican case if needed.
But doesn't it strike you as odd, Arthurian, that they want you to go after children who are basically high-end pastry chefs?
I mean, from what you described, they're also stealing chemicals that are, used to make bombs and could potentially ship out pastry
But
bombs across
everything
the
here
world.
also has a different use, a very, very benign use.
Certainly, it could be something, but I mean, listen, I understand government isn't inherently a good thing, but you have to answer to someone because
See, this
otherwise
is why in my country people answer to me.
Because if you don't have someone to hold you accountable, people tend to revert to their baser instincts and do bad things.
Arthurian's basically a cinnamon roll iced with steroids.
That's why criminals exist, because they stop caring about the law.
Not necessarily.
Or the consequences thereof.
Some criminals exist. Some criminals exist because other people stopped caring about them, stopped caring about how to solve their issues.
Certainly, that's a thing, and it causes you to spiral outwards typically. And stop caring about a lot of things.
That is a very common virtue.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that's the only reason people do crime, but a lot of it is.
Mr. Freeze, he could have had his issues solved by Bruce Wayne just helping with research on saving his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Issue solved.
People stop believing that people care about them, things go bad.
So why do these children think the adults around them don't care about them if they're forged on their own?
Well, at least a few of them are orphans, or might be better off as orphans.
And have you heard of the adoptions or the foster care system? It's not exactly the best place for kids. I heard about a kid getting hosed down with Dr. Pepper. Because
which is an awful thing to happen to anyone.
Look, he did it to himself.
Wait, what happened?
I'm not shitting you. The kid chewed the cap off a Dr. Pepper thingy and turned it upside down.
Oh no, I'm making an entirely different reference.
And I wasn't.
Look.
When there's the point, and it goes, meow.
I see your point, Wraith. And I see Arthurian's point. I think the reason that we're here is to function as a way to take care of this without the sort of escalations that the authorities will have to resort to. Because let's be honest, we can probably handle these robots just fine ourselves. If the authorities have to do it without supers, then they're going to have to resort to tanks and rockets to do so. I believe that all of us think that that would be a substandard outcome, yes?
You take tanks, you take rockets, you crush them up into little balls, and then you bowl those balls into the other police. Problem
Yes.
solved.
That is yes.
I mean, like, I'm not very good at the investigation stuff, and I understand I don't have the most critical viewpoint of the world around me, but I doubt they're trying to do bad.
Then what is the issue? If the children are not trying to do bad,
oh no,
and all they're doing is making sweets.
I was referring to here nor there.
Oh,
I mean, the kids probably aren't trying to do bad things either, and are doing bad things without realizing that they're bad things because they're kids.
children are children. They make mistakes. We teach them, they learn, they grow.
Yes, and from the information we have, almost all of these children have lost their parents in some way or another. So they don't have people teaching them right from wrong.
Then we need to find them, and we need to gently and constructively correct them before things get out of hand.
And I take very much exception to that that someone had to teach me what was good and what was evil. One of the things that I loved about the Arthurian tales of old is when Arthur realized the world wasn't black and white. Enjoy that lesson. It's going to sting.
You mean when his wife cheated on him with his best friend?
You know I realize that, right? Things can be good and evil and the world is gray. Multiple statements can be true about reality. You realize that, right? Murdering someone 9 times out of 10, very evil act.
No, that is not true. Sometimes people need killing.
Well, and that's why he said 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, I'm going to hedge this
veg.
Stealing, generally wrong. Just because good things can come from theft does not make stealing a generally bad act.
All we need to do is find the children, talk to them, and stop the thefts. Right?
Yes.
I think we can all agree on that.
We all agree. I'm just expounding on the point that
maybe
we're all
they can
having
be
existential
directed.
crisis right now. It's fine.
Maybe they can be directed into running bake sales so that they can purchase their ingredients and have treats to eat.
Or recruited as scientists for the here nor there, or any government they choose to work for.
Or, something that allows them to retain their freedom.
I'm sure
before we suddenly have to face a supervillain named the Baker. I'm just saying. And yes, that was Ray talking.
I could give little Jimmy Neutron a job in my country.
Maybe he can build a prosthetic body.
Look at Denari.
Okay. They've agreed on where they're going. We're going to cut this here because we are running out of time, and I'm sure you can hear my
I gotta check on a kid.
Background. So we're going to let him do the checking while we do the thorns and roses right now. Let's start with Wraith.
I have loved every bit of this. Like, I don't have anything bad to say about this other than I'm sorry if a little bit of my hangry came through. This is like the first actual thing I've eaten all day. I still Arthurian, even though he was more quiet, this one is still like my favorite character to play off of. His open-eyed optimism to race, very cynical view of the world. It's been a lot of fun to see those interplays. And then we've got Shuffle trying to play Mr. Logic and Carlos being Captain Chaos with a bank account. And I'm here for it. I'm enjoying the fact that we've got some definite gray hats that are tinged a little bit more black, dealing with another gray hat, and Mr. White, if that hat gets any brighter, he's going to rival the sun. That whole interplay of how they're working and the things that are making the darker characters be more bright, like the kid thing. Like one thing that like you can guarantee with all these characters now, if there are kids in danger in any way, shape, or form, because that's where Wraith is coming from, those kids might be in danger from the other powers. Fuck the other powers that hired her. She don't care. Those are kids. Kids are not on the playing field.
That's right.
Adults are fair game. Children, that's a line you do not cross. And I'm enjoying that interplay. I'm also enjoying the fact that this is your first story and you're dealing with 3 people that I know very, very personally. Myself, I've known, Robbie forever, or Digi, sorry, and Dee and stuff. And we are very, very stubborn, and we tend to have game breaky ideas. And I'm enjoying to get to know Zeus, but you're dealing with our bullshit like a pro. So props to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
For your first game, awesome.
Carlos.
Thorn, Shuffle, I think we could have seen more from. I think we could have seen more interaction and more input from. And I think he might have been holding back a little bit, for everybody else. And I get that. So, I mean, that's cool. And I know he wants to give everybody else a chance to have their say and have their play and everything. But I think he could have just dove in there a little bit more and just kind of kicked around. For my rose, it goes out to Wraith because, I like that, even though she's a dark character like Carlos, that we both know that, once kids are in there, there's a line, and that's it. And that's you don't cross that line, and it just doesn't happen. If you try to cross that line, then, well, you get fed into the wood chipper, and neither one of us are really gonna sweat it over that. Whereas Arthurian would totally be like, no, grasp my pearls, Grandma, which is great in and of its own. And I do like playing with Zeus. It's great getting to know you, having fun with that too. But yeah, total props to Wraith and Shuffle. Definitely, I like I was saying before, I really think you were kind of holding back, and I think I know that was just to let everybody else get their play in and get their play style in and established and everything. But I really think you could have gone in there a little bit more.
Okay.
But yeah,
Arthurian. I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Digi. Let's continue. Okay, I guess we're done. Arthurian, Thorns of Roses.
I'm still having a blast playing Arthurian. I'm glad people are really enjoying him and interacting with him. He's a little difficult of a character to play because of relentless optimism, which is very much not my worldview. I understand the things that Arthurian very much does not want to or can't, because of how his brain works. But yeah, it's very fun to interact with the characters. I very much appreciate how you guys bounce off of him. I find Wraith incredibly fun to interact with. Carlos is an interesting figure. Shuffle's interesting. Like I'm just having a blast. My only thorn is I feel bad because I can't contribute much because mechanics say no.
The jack of all trades feat might actually really help you out on that front.
Oh no, the issue isn't that like he can't like roll the thing. The issue is his stats are so bad for everything else that's not combat because he's a paragon.
It's fine, we're getting there.
It's a D20, you can roll it.
Mm-hmm.
Bad stats are fine.
Like he took treatment in vehicles, which hasn't come up yet, but
sorry.
Well, treatment's important. Yeah, treatment is important.
Oh yeah.
When that comes up, that's important.
But yeah, like he very much is the kind of character who this is not the kind of superheroing he does. He isn't Batman, he's Superman. He goes, oh, Lex Luthor is causing crime? Stop that shit.
I want those peanut butter and pickle sandwiches. Shuffle, your turn.
It's a slightly different flavor of Mutants and Masterminds than I was expecting. I was not expecting this much upfront investigation. But I'm having fun, and I think it's a great cast of characters, and I really like some of the dynamics that have come into play. And I like the plot so far too. That's been really fun.
Everyone's meshing into the plot really well. And bonus points, you're going to hit that combat a lot faster than you were going to because you have decided to skip right the frick past Mexico and go back into the sky. So next week's going to be interesting. Can I assume that you are sending this information to Phantom as well?
Yes.
Yeah, to Astro Shadow.
Okay. And Lily, I saw that redeem. The Pollo de Caliente will show up next week.
It's also worth noting for the table, I have spent the first hero point of the campaign.
Yep.
Nice.
To move here nor there to Colorado.
Oh boy.
All right, that is what we've got tonight. We're going to go ahead and go the 5 XP a pop. You know what? Let's make it 8 this time points because I wasn't here last week. So 8 away.
Okay.
And I think that's it for us. We will see you guys next week. And this is going to get real interesting next week. Thank you guys for stopping by, and we will see you.
Bye.
Bye.